Sup nerds! Welcome back to my channel, guys. I am so excited for today's video. As you guys saw the title, we will be talking about books that surprised me. Now, this is surprised me in a good way and a bad way. We got them all. These are just books that really caught me off guard. I was not expecting this result. Anyway, first, if you guys like this video, if you guys like reading, if you guys like talking about books, if you guys like all the nerdy things, then definitely give this video a thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button, and without further ado, let's just get started. Alright, so again, these are books that kind of just caught me off guard, whether it's in a bad way, a good way, whether it was their plot twist, whether it was, there's so many different elements. I'm thinking of some that too, just had I don't know, just had really good stuff that didn't necessarily surprise me because I expect the author to write good things, but I'm thinking of those two, so maybe a video about plot twists is also a good one, but it's fine. I just wanted to mention these real quick because I did talk about them on on Tuesday's video, and so I didn't want to talk too much about them, but but these really did surprise me. These are, again, the Windor series. I talk about them, I swear, in every video, but I love them so much, and I really did not expect to fall this hard for them. This really kicked the door for billionaire romance wide open and said, Marissa, here's your heart in a book. I just love them all. They're so exciting. They surprised me so hard because I was just expecting to kind of read. I honestly read them out of order. I just read the temporary wife. I thought I was just going to be able to read that and, move on. One of my friends recommended it, so I was just like, okay, I'll just read it, and then, But honestly, I was not expecting to fall in love, and I fell in love with the series. Every single book I love, it makes me love the series more, and that's even more surprising because there are so many series that I've read where just at least one book trash, but not this series. I really like them all. I think they're all unique in their own way, and they're all surprising me in their own way. So I think that this book is just full of surprises, but in general, it surprised me that I love them this much. Again, I also talked about both of these on Tuesday's video, but this is The Summer of Broken Rules by K.L. Walther, another book that just surprised the crap out of me. I was expecting to hate the ending. I was expecting to just be so disappointed and let down because that's how people made it seem, but honestly, I was not. I was actually obsessed, and I love this book, so I guess obviously that's in a good way, because I was really had not low standards. I had high standards for most of the story. It was just the ending that I was like, okay, brace yourself, and honestly, I enjoyed it. Thinking about it too, I was as someone who I like to write, obviously I'm not a published author or anything like that, but I have books that I been working on, it's taken a long time, but I'm trying to get there essentially. But as someone who kind of understands the hardships of writing a book, and even though obviously I'm not publishing, obviously it's just kind of, it's just a little bit of creativity, a little bit here and there, so it's really not that much work for me, but I just mean in general, I understand having to think about how people are gonna read it. And so, part of me, I'm oh my gosh, people are gonna hate that, you know what I mean? So, I understand that thought process, and so I feel if she would have, made the ending, longer or whatever, I feel people would have been mad about it. So, no, it was, a lose-lose situation, so honestly, I respect her decision as the author to end it the way she did, and I love that ending. I think it was great, and that's how I would have wrote it if I was writing this book as well, because it finishes it off with a bow. It is really quick, and you don't get all the details, but who cares? It's really fun and fresh, and I think it was really, really nice. So that really surprised me that I enjoyed that. Okay, this book also surprised me. It's most surprising that so many people love this book. This is Divine Rivals by Rebecca Ross. It's super interesting. It's very old-fashioned in a way. The characters are 18, 19. It's just so, I don't know, it seemed so odd that so many people like this, but it really surprised me that it was the way that it was, and so many people love this book. It's incredible. It really is truly incredible, and honestly, I understand why people like it, but it surprised the crap out of me because I'm how did people like this? Not in a bad way, in just the sense that it's not there's everything else that people go viral and that people love and go TikTok famous and that kind of stuff are not like this book. This is so unique compared to those, which is amazing because this author deserves all the hype that she's getting for this book. But it surprised me. It really did surprise me. I'm wow, guys, we have taste. We have taste. What? Let's keep it up because some of them books that people love, are not actually good. This one was actually good. Amazing, deserved all the hype. All right, I got a big stack over here. I go back and forth between surprise me in a good way, surprise me in a bad way. This one surprised me in the best way possible. This is the final author from Lauren Asher. I did not like the other 2 books in this series. I just honestly felt like the author missed the mark on, you know, male characters who hate everyone except the girl. And I feel like they were just rude. Like, they were just too far. I do think the second book is better than the first book. But either way, I still just, this is not my favorite. So I was not expecting to love this book at all, and oh my gosh, this surprised me so hard because Callahan is like, first of all, he is, oh my gosh, the best kind of man where he sits there and he works on himself the entire book. You can see like these just different moments he's having where he's like, I need to change, I need to do better, I want to be the man for Alana, and I just love his dedication, his character. I love his character development. I just love the way she wrote this book. I love Alana. I love Alana's daughter. Like, there's so much to love about this book. It's so incredible. It is long, but honestly, I think it is so worth it. And I really feel like, honestly, like, it's just so beautifully written that, like, it really surprised me. I'm like, did you really write those first 2 books? Like, are you kidding? Are you lying? Are you messing with me? Because it honestly is not adding up, but, like, this is so good, and it really genuinely, again, surprised me so bad, but I love it, and I honestly, in the best way possible, and so I'm so glad. I honestly wish I could go back and read this for the first time again, because I just loved just so much about it, and just, again, I just loved reading it and figuring Callahan out, and Alana, I loved figuring their relationship out. It's just so beautiful, and they were like childhood lovers, like, so it's very unique in the sense of, you know, a lot of books are enemies to lovers, and like they're all the basic tropes. This one, I feel like, even, you know, friends, like, not friends, what did I just say? Oh, childhood lovers. I feel like you get that every now and then, but it's not this good. Like, it was juicy. It was so juicy, and I loved it, honestly. And I really hate how people hate on this book just because it's long. It's like, girl, it's a good book, so don't be a hater. Don't be a hater, because it's so good. Surprised me in the best way possible. This one surprised me in the worst way possible. And I know, this is one of those books that, honestly, why it made Divine Rivals so exciting, because I read this book, Happy Place by Emily Henry, and everybody loved it. Everybody loves this book. Not for me. Not for me. Not for me. This is honestly on the hype train with Fourth Wing and Divine Rivals. It really is up there with books you just see in everyone's videos, everyone's shorts, everyone's, like, you know, you see them all the time, reels. I don't know why this book is not that good. Emily Henry has better books. I just don't love, like, and I get it, like, you know, some people really just, I don't know, I don't get it. I could see why people like this book a lot, but I just don't think, like, I think there are better books. There are better books with, like, more depth. There are better books with more character, better characters. There are more books with just so much better, and I'm like, why is this one, people are obsessed with this one? It's not a bad book in any way, shape, or form, and that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that it's just surprised me in the sense that, like, it just was really not as incredible as it's being made out to be. I feel like the whole premise of this book is around, it's not even miscommunication, it's lack of communication, and that is so stupid. It's like, come on, like, could you, like, get creative or something? Like, just the fact that he's withholding the truth, she's not asking the one question, why did you break up with me? And then the friends all, like, it's just so stupid. All the friends are dumb too, none of them know how to communicate, and I just hate that, and I'm like, come on. That's not really that good. So honestly, that surprised me in the worst way possible. I just really was not. I was like, really, this is what people are liking? That's why Divine Rivals surprised me that much, because I'm like, that's a good book. Wow, you guys got taste. But this one, no. This one also surprised me in a good way. It's so surprising. I'm still in awe and shock. This is Icebreaker by Hannah Grace. I'm surprised too that there's so many mixed reviews on this. This one should be up there. Like, in my collection, it's definitely up there with Fourth Wing, Divine Rivals, as far as, like, the wow factor, the amazingness, the close to perfectly written book, like, most exciting of the year. It's up there in my collection, but not the rest of the world. And I'm like, what? This is better than Happy Place, in my opinion. This is so good, and everything about this is a surprise. Everything down to just even the characters, everything's a surprise. It starts off the weirdest way possible. she's kind of like she's kind of seeing this one guy, but they're not like exclusive. They're like, you know, just fooling around. And so you're like, what's happening? Like, it just starts off and you're already like, wait, what? The point of view of the second person of the guy is obviously not the guy she's fooling around with. So you're also like still confused. It's so surprising. Everything about it is a surprise. And then, like, you know, there's a certain flow to like romance books. Obviously there's like, you know, they meet, whatever, you figure them out, blah, 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 third act breakup. Second act breakup, third act breakup, I think it's what it's called, whatever, they break up at some point, or like they fight or whatever it is, and then they get back together. There's like a certain flow that like most romance books follow, whether they're unique or not, or different tropes or not. It's usually like that. This one kind of just was like, no, we're scratching out, we're doing what we want, and it's just so much fun. You get a lot of the couple, which I also like Nathan and, is her name, not Hannah, Anastasia. You get so much of them together, and I love that. I think that's also a unique thing. I just think there was so much good to this book that, like, I will recommend this till the day I die. It is incredible, and there's one I really think you need to go into blind, because it is so incredible, and it's so surprising. Surprised the crap out of me. I was not expecting that, especially not even after the first chapter. I was not convinced. I was like, this is gonna be a bad book. And then it just surprised me every single freaking new chapter. It was amazing. I'm gonna get so much hate for this video. This one surprised me in a horrible way. I don't want to look. ACOTAR! I only read the first book, so I understand that people love this series as a series. I get that. But I feel like it needs to be mentioned that the first book is not good. It's just not good. It's giving 2-3 star. It's not good. The first 90% of this book, the girl has no idea what's happening. What the freak is her name? Feyre. She's just, it almost feels like a cozy fantasy in the sense. It's just like she's doing nothing. Nothing's happening. She's just walking around. You know, some monster just tries to tells her like, oh, you broke a law, so now you have to die, or you have to live with me. What? What kind of ultimatum is that? That makes no freaking sense. And then you get to this like guy's house or whatever, and you're just chilling. You're just like, you're figuring stuff out. You run into a monster here, a monster there, and you're like, wow. I'm like, what is happening? This is so boring. It was so, I genuinely, like, I'm being honest. You know, I woke up, I slept till like 10 o'clock today. I got a really good night's sleep, even though I freaking went to bed really late, but like I felt good. I feel refreshed. So I feel like I'm giving you my honest raw opinion. I did not like it. It was like, what is happening? If I didn't know that everyone and their mom likes the rest of the series, I honestly would not finish the series. It would take me a long time. And honestly, I'm still putting off the second book if I'm being 100, because this first book was not good. The ending is good. Let's get that straight. Sorry, not the ending. There's like a good chunk closer to the end that's really good when she gets to go, like basically where the action is happening, where Feyre goes to wherever she's going to defeat the queen or whatever. She's doing like these trials to save Tomlin. That was the best part of the book. This is when she meets Rysand and everyone, you know, likes him. I don't know how to say his name, and I don't care who says whatever pronunciation. I'm calling him Rysand because that's how it looks like in the book. But anyway, so Rysand, that's when you meet him. You kind of know what's going to happen eventually. You assume that, like, basically she's going to like Rysand instead of Tomlin, and Tomlin's going to go crazy. And so I guess in the second book, people hate Tomlin. But in this first book, Tomlin's great. So I'm like, I'm so glad that he gets worse, but like he's fine in this one. So I'm like, it's stupid. It just ends up being stupid. I could talk on and on and on about why that book is actually really bad, and no one cares about the fact that that's not a good first book. It's a really bad first book, in my opinion. It's an okay book, knowing that people like the rest of the series, but like, because if you take it as a standalone, like if you're reading this book for the first time, the rest of the books are not released. Like, let's just say the rest of the books are not released. No one has ever read them. No one knows, but it's like, this is not a good book. It's not. So, all right. Sorry, unpopular opinion. Next, this one actually surprised me again in a great way. It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This is written in third person. And I was like, oh, heck no. Tessa Bailey, I think all her books are written in third person. I'm not sure exactly, though. But this one surprised the crap out of me because I really thought I was going to be disconnected, like, not in it. I was like, I'm just going to finish it, whatever. No, I was literally hooked. I was addicted to this book. Like, you could literally inject. This was addicting. I was addicted. And it just was so interesting, and you love it. Again, Grumpy Sunshine. But like she's not annoying, and I really like that about this character. Like she had the potential to be a really annoying main character, like whatever, but she really wasn't Piper. She really wasn't. And then Brenton is just so exciting. You want to know, you want to keep reading, and honestly, again, I felt really connected to this book, and I thought that was amazing. Again, I was really surprised that I really liked it as much as I did because it's third person. Like, ugh. I know I'm a little biased, but I'm not biased, but I know I just like really always dog on third person, but I feel like sometimes it's way, like when you're saying it's really easy to put yourself in their shoes and like kind of just feel the situation out from a personal standpoint. But when it's talking in third person, it's really hard to see yourself as that character, and it's really hard to connect with that character, or like to be like, yo, yeah, that's how I would feel and stuff like that. And so that's what like puts me off sometimes, but like that surprised me because it actually was a really good third person book. Honestly, Divine Rivals was also third person, and that surprised me too, but we're not talking about that one again. Okay. Oh, this one I wanted to show you to talk about. I have it on my tablet my iPad, because I don't have the copy of it yet, but I'm gonna buy the entire series because I feel like it's a good series to have, like, you know, in my hands. But this is the Never After series by Emily McIntyre, but the first book I read was Hooked. I'll pop in a picture here. It was Hooked, and I didn't like this book. Okay, I gave it like 4 stars because it does like kind of tie, like at the end it kind of, you know, ties it up pretty, but like I feel like honestly, like, no, did I give it 5 stars? Did I give it 3? I mean, so did I give it 4 stars or 3 stars? I feel like actually I gave it 3 stars, but like in my head I would have given it like 3.5 stars, but like on Goodreads you can't do that. So I think I gave it 3 stars, but it's just like it was not. It had the potential to be really good. Again, I'll talk about this book more in my end of the month reading wrap up because obviously I haven't talked about it in that because I just read it this month, but I just feel like it was so corny, cheesy. Everything was a Peter Pan reference, and I get it. It's like inspired by Peter Pan, but when you want to make like a dark romance, I don't want to hear that your boat is called the Never, like it was called the what did you call it? The Tiger Lily. Like I don't want to know that, and I don't want to know that you're freaking someone who you're supposed to see them as a normal person. I don't want to know that their name is Smeet. I don't want to call them Smeet. That is so stupid. Like that's no one's name. You when you hear that name, you only think of Peter Pan, and so it's just like I get it. You want it to like make it obviously like Peter Pan inspired, but like you needed to chill out, just to like dial it back like just a little bit. I felt like this is Spicy Open Door, and I feel like all of that was just good. But I do feel like it was, just everything was so forced. Like, you know, then this girl's name is Tina Bell. And like, you know, he drugged her. And so someone gets drugged and it's like, this is pixie dust. And then she says the dumbest stuff at some point. She's like, all I have is my faith and my trust. And then he walks in and he's like, and this is pixie dust. And you're like, that is so corny. That is so cheesy. That's not in a good way, though. It's so annoying. It, like, put me off. And so I think that's what set me off. The first, like, chapter, the first page was horrid. Like, the guy's airline is Neverland, but, like, Neverland Airlines. And they're, like, so dumb. I'm like, that is so corny. And I'm like, the rest of the book that's the thing that disappointed me, I think, the most, is that it has some great potential. But it's, like, just that freaking, like, those little things really, like, put me off. Like, it really gave me the ick. Those were real icky things. I'm like, that is so corny, cheesy. The dad's name is Peter, and then he calls her the whole time, he calls her Darling. And I'm like, Darling is cute, but it's not cute when it's Wendy Darling. No, it's not cute. It gets corny. It's a little too cheesy for me. It's a little too cheesy. So I was like, put off. I'm going to finish the series because I want to do a video comparing I want to do a video with them, but I want to read all of them first. And I feel like I've heard people like some of the other ones better than they like that first one, so I'm interested. But I honestly, that first book was not that good. It was really not. Okay, next, this one, I was not expecting to, this is one that surprised me in the sense, I was expecting to like it, but not as much as I liked it. Like, I didn't expect it to become my whole identity. This is Bittersweet Memories by Katharina Mara. Again, I love Katharina Mara. She's just incredible, but this book is so surprising. It's full of surprises. Every single chapter is a new surprise, and I honestly think, again, go in blind. I will mention this, so if you want to go in blind, just skip forward a few things, but I will tell you, it is like an amnesia romance. They're childhood lovers. And they just go through so much together that no, I've never read a book like this at all. Not only do I've read only one other book where amnesia, the girl loses her memory ever, and I've read a lot of books, so that's insane. But also just the fact that just all the things combined, I've never read a book like it. Like, I've never read a book where they met as childhood and then they go through all what they go through, which is insane. Like, when you read it, you're gonna be like, what? And then obviously amnesia, and then like it just, everything is always like, you're saying what the entire book, you're like, what? No way. What? No way. What? No way. It just keeps going, and it's so good. And so eventually, if you read the back too, kind of you're a little confused because you're like, wait, what? But it ends up being so good and so surprising in the best way possible. I just love this book. And again, like I told you, like, it became my whole identity. Look at this is my iPad. 1, 2, 3. These are all from the same movie. Sorry, I think the mail guy came. I definitely said the same movie. These are all from that book. The tree, the saying here, and then the little origami, what is it called? Whatever, the origami thing. They're all from Bittersweet Memories because I love it so much. It's so good. And so it really surprised the crap out of me. Because again, I was expecting to like it, but not as much as I did. It was so good. Everything is a surprise. Last 4 books. So these two are kind of go hand in hand because one surprised me because of the other one, if that makes sense. So this one just genuinely surprised me. I was not expecting to hate this book. I don't hate it, but I really did not like it at all. It's the Anna Huang Twisted Love book 1. I've heard so many people don't like this book, though. I've heard it like ever since I read it as well. I've heard how much people like don't like this book and like how the rest of the series is so much better. I just think that's never really an excuse. That's not a good excuse for the rest of the series, if that makes sense. Like, I really don't think like we should, you know, people say like, oh, this is a great series. Like, well, no, you need to specifically tell me that this book is terrible and that the rest are actually good, you know? So I don't think you can bundle it up like that, always. I feel like sometimes you can't, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like it's hard. I would, when I'm watching videos and stuff, that's why that's the thing with short form, like, content, is like, you know, you only get part of the story. That's why I want to tell you that this book is not good. The rest of the series I've heard is really bad and so much better, and I'm reading Twisted Games. I already like it better, and so we'll see. But this one is it just is too much. It's giving chaos. You're not really into the characters. You're kind of like, what's going on? And then they try to, like, obviously it's twisted, and so in the sense it's kind of like obviously like there are things that are a little bit twisted. It makes sense, but it's like there are so many like random things that you're like, come on. It's not even like random in a good way. You're not like, oh my gosh, let me see. No, it's like, that's so stupid. Or it's like, come on, like, really, like it seems fake if in the way. And obviously all these books are written, like, they're not always they're not true stories. They're sometimes not possible, but like, you know, you're kind of like, okay, that's a stretch. But like this one was just like, it was just, again, give it the ick. It was like, what? Why? Or you're like uncomfortable. This is brother's best friend. This is not, it's kind of, I think they put it on, like they say it as enemies to lovers. Is it enemies to lovers? I don't know. The guy's just kind of like a jerk, and so she's like, why is he a jerk? But then also she's like, I want to be nice to him. And then so then he ends up like having to protect her. Like the brother's like, can you watch her for me, basically? And then he's like, yeah, sure. So obviously it's like, touch her and you die kind of vibe. Like, it's so, like, it has the formula to write a good book. It's just the execution was very poor. And so I was very surprised in that, because again, I've only heard that the series was so good. So I was just surprised at how, like, you know, no one seemed to wanted to mention, oh my gosh, no one wanted to mention that it's not good. I don't know. But that's why this book surprised me as well, in the best way, but it surprised me nonetheless. This is King of Wrath by Anna Huang. I was like, what? There's no way this is the same author. There is no freaking way. I pre-ordered the second book because that's how much I loved this book so much. And honestly, these are very, very similar, and I've talked about them before. They're very similar just in the storyline. Essentially, like, you know, the guy and the girl's dad have beef, and so you see that play out in both of these books. This one is executed perfectly, flawlessly. You're in it, you're addicted, you're like, come on, give me more. I love this book so much, and I think it also is kind of like, you know, touch her in your eye and that kind of vibe. And he's like, obviously billionaire romance, I love, and he's just like very, you're conflicted with them. You're like, oh, you're like, what do you do? Honestly, in this book, you're kind of just, in Twisted Love, you're kind of just like, do whatever the freak you want. I don't care. I just want to finish this book. This one is like, oh my gosh, you're torn with them. You're like, no, but yes, but no, but yes. And it's just, it's incredible. And I think this was so better executed. And I'm kind of glad that she did this, because I'm like, okay, yes, I know you're an amazing author, because you were able to like kind of fix what you did in Twisted Love, because this one is so good and I cannot wait for the rest of the books. I really don't like obviously it's called King of Sin, and like I don't love that. I don't like that, but like King of Wrath, like I don't really like that. Like you could have came up with the different names, but like the whole thing in it is so good, and so it's so good. They get in an arranged marriage. If you don't know, they get into an arranged marriage because the girl's father blackmails the guy into marrying his daughter, and so then he has to like figure out if he wants to like get all the blackmail from the dad and like destroy the dad, but also that hurts the daughter. But then you get the point. So there's a lot to it, but it's so good. Oh my gosh, this video is long. Okay, last but not least, this also is one surprised me because of the other. So this one again is a great surprise. This is Dear Aaron by Mariana Zapata. Again, I expected to like this, but not the way that I loved this book. Like again, inject me with it. It was so good. The first 90%, okay, like 60% of the book is emails, just emails back and forth. Then it's just direct messages back and forth. And then they meet. But the beginning is just so good because you're only reading emails. You're not reading thoughts or anything like that or anyone's opinions. It's just emails, and it is so good. It's like the filtered thing that you would say to someone. You know what I mean? It's not like the raw emotion in your head, and that's what, I don't know why, it was so unique, so good. I was not expecting to love it. And the ending was so good. This one is open door, but you can make it closed door. It's only one chapter. You just can skip that chapter if you don't want to. So that's why I think it was also so exciting, because it's one that I can safely recommend to anyone and just be like, yo, don't read that chapter. But like, it's really, really good. And I think that they are just so much fun. The ending is so much fun. I was just not expecting to love it the way that I did. Like, I just not expecting to fall this hard for this book. And I love, love, love this book. Aaron, he's so freaking cute. If you don't know, she's writing letters to soldiers overseas, and so she basically, like, the back even says, like, you know, all she was signing up to send letters to a soldier. She wasn't expecting to fall in love with him, but like, it happens. So read it and find out. Mariana Zapata is known for her slow burn, and that one was a slow burn. Like, I was like, come on, just meet already, just just meet, please. But that book surprised me in the best way possible. That's why this one surprised me in the worst way possible. I was just kind of like, what? Like, I did not know, like, this is The Wall of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I just felt like this book was boring. And I hate to say that, I do. Again, and I honestly, like, I hate to knock any book, but I feel like I'm entitled to my opinion, and I'm going to share it because, you know, I feel like maybe people feel the same. If you don't, that's completely fine, but I want to share my opinion. That's what this channel is for. But this book to me just seemed a little boring, and I know a lot of people who like it, so don't get me wrong. There's someone whose taste this is like. I just felt like it was just like, it wasn't even a slow burn in like the best way. It's like it wasn't even, I wouldn't want to call it a slow burn, because obviously, I don't know, I feel like it was not just enjoyable to wait that long. It was kind of like, I don't even want you to do anything. Please don't get together, because honestly, you're not even compatible. I don't know. It was just so boring. I don't know. My thoughts are all over the place, and I'm trying to talk fast, but like, he's a football player who got injured, and he needed a personal assistant basically, and so he hires her. She works for him for a few years, but then eventually wants to quit. Well, when she goes to quit, he realizes that he's going to get deported back to Canada, so he needs to marry someone, so he ends up marrying her. Well, I'll just tell you that. He ends up marrying her, and then so they have to kind of figure that out. You know, like, they're fake dating, well, they're married, but you know, like marriage of convenience in the sense, and so obviously they don't like each other, but like, I was not rooting for this couple at all. I was just kind of like, whatever. So I don't know, it's hard. Again, I know people like this, but that was not my favorite. I think it was because the hype was so high with Dear Aaron. Like, I loved it so much that's why Wall of Winnipeg was so surprisingly like not Dear Aaron, you know, and I was like, I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know what book surprised you down below. I know, I really was giving you my honest opinion. So definitely don't give me hate. I know. It sucks when people dog on books you like, but like, it's just my opinion. That's it. It's really, it's what is that word? take it with a grain of salt. It's one opinion to the 50,000 people out there. So maybe I'm the minority. Maybe I'm the majority. Maybe I'm the minority. You know, you never know. That's it. All right, I'll see you. Bye, nerds.